What is up, my dude and dudettes, and welcome back to TellerTube. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the subreddit r/TodayIF'dUp. If you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date with my latest videos. With that being said, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Today I effed up by saying "okay boomer" in class. So basically, I walk into my physics class, wait for 10 minutes, and my professor finally shows up. My professor is really bad at teaching, and every minute of class is precious since I'm struggling in physics and need to ask him questions about my homework. But instead of getting into the review problems, he starts talking about how he's struggling using his new smartphone, and went on a rant for 5 to 8 minutes about how flip phones are easier to use. Then continues by talking about how he's getting annoyed with all the notifications that were unwanted, and said he only wanted to use the internet, call, and email. He goes to the length to say the new generation are too obsessed with measly attention from notifications, which is why smartphones are designed the way they are. I was getting pretty frustrated. In the middle of his stupid rant, I say the dreaded words, "okay boomer." I thought it was funny and fitted the situation, but none of my unsupportive classmates laughed and made the situation awkward. The professor is staring at me and says, "What did you say?" and was visibly angry. I then tried to explain to him that I wanted to move on to the lesson and his rant was useless since it posed no purpose to the class. He then says, "I've had enough," and tells me to excuse the class and tells me I won't be taking the quiz in class because of bad misconduct. Now, I'm getting a 0 on the said quiz and my grade is probably going to drop. And now I have a bad relationship with a professor and will probably have to report to my academic advisor telling her what had happened, and overall this is a big frick up. Oh no, let's get an RIP in the comments for this student. Today I effed up by wearing a Halloween costume to school. I thought that because it was Halloween today that other people in a normally holiday-loving school would wear at least a prop or one of those bouncy antenna headbands with pumpkins or ghosts, but nope. Not a soul. Nobody wore or did anything to celebrate. I know it is a holiday that you eventually grow out of, but since costumes are my passion, I spent months on a bright orange pirate coat and made a costume to go underneath. I'm not usually the extrovert, and due to a few recent unfortunate events and my crappy mental state, I'm only at school like 50% of the time. And I thought maybe this time I can have a bit of fun just this once. But fate had other plans for me on this rainy Halloween. It's safe to say I was embarrassed and felt bad and surrounded and like a freak. If I see someone else with a costume on, I might feel better, but this was overkill. I'm in 11th grade, and thankfully because of that, I likely won't be made fun of, but costuming will always be my passion, and someday I will feel okay being the only one in a crowd of people. Today I effed up by forgetting it was Halloween. This literally happened 5 minutes ago. Throwaway because I don't want my friends to know. So basically, I bought some shampoo and left it on the kitchen table. The way my flat was designed is that there is an extremely large window positioned right next to the front door. This window faces the kitchen table. So I hopped into the shower intending to wash my hair, forgetting my shampoo. Realizing my mistake, I get out of the shower and walk down the hallway. I was completely naked as nobody in my flat was home and I thought it would be an in and out operation. As I reached for the shampoo from the table, I heard a knock. Trick-or-treaters. I turned my head and saw 3 kids, wide eyes in complete horror, glazing at my body in all its glory. Now those kids surely got a scare that night. Today I effed up by staring at a blue-haired lady on the bus. When I got on the bus, it was kind of full. Most of the seats were taken and a few people were standing. I decided to stand since I didn't really need to sit, and happened to be in the line of sight of this lady with really nice blue hair. I myself have blue hair, so I kept glancing over at her because hers just looked so nice, like cotton candy. I realized that she was staring back at me too, but I didn't think much of it. Eventually, a bunch of people get off and some seats open in the back. So I walked past her to sit down since a lot of people were also getting on. I noticed that she had a bag on the seat next to her and refused to move it despite the influx of people, but man, who am I to judge? Right as I sat down though, she stood up and came swinging at me with her bag, and it whacked me straight in the chest. I felt like I was the door of a medieval castle mid-siege and her bag was the battering ram of my enemies. I was caught so off guard and I just sat there in shock, speechless. She walked back to her seat angrily and I stared at her head of beautiful blue hair, confused. All the other passengers started making sure I was okay, asking if I knew her and whatnot, but I was too dumbfounded to answer. She turned around and said,
Don't start crap if you can't finish it, booger. I'll take this outside if I need to.
This results in more confusion on my part. I tried to ask what she wanted with me, but she turned around and ignored me. Thankfully, she got off at the next stop, but it seems she did so because she was under the impression that I actually wanted to throw down, which I didn't. So she just called me a fatty and left. Looking back now, I realized that she must have thought that when I was looking at her, that I was antagonizing her or judging her for not moving her bag for other people. I've told I have a resting booger face, so she must have taken me constantly looking over at her as throwing down the gauntlet for the coveted title of Best Blue-Haired Girl on the 65 bus. Yikes. Don't be messing with girls with blue hair, I guess. Today I effed up by complimenting a coworker on his weight loss. I have a coworker that works in a separate department. In my old position, we had to communicate fairly regularly, but since changing positions, I rarely see him. It has been about a year and a half since I have seen him, and I was surprised to see him in my area today. He has lost about 100 pounds, so I thought it would be a nice gesture to recognize and compliment him. I said it was good to see him again, and rather enthusiastic told him he looks great and to keep up the hard work. He responded with a cold smile, said it was nice running into me, and just continued walking. We aren't incredibly close, but usually stop for small talk, which I was completely expecting as I awkwardly stood in the hallway. When I got back into my office, I brought up the weight loss to my office mate and said our coworker really looked great and he was inspiring. My office mate somberly responded that he was diagnosed with cancer and has been losing weight because of that. Aw, that's sad. Today I effed up by vomiting down my manager's neck. I felt quite awful about this lie and needed a place to say this. This past Friday, my office was in a meeting. Our internal meeting room is designed to fit as many people in there as possible, as we recently hired a bunch of people and the room is too small. So we sit in rows of seats with no desks in front of us, sort of like a school bus, I suppose. My boss is sitting directly in front of me, and with this specific meeting, the back row where I sat was empty except for me. Our CTO is the one holding the meeting, so we are all seated listening. I was rushed into the meeting and was unable to take my routine morning crap beforehand. As I sit behind my boss, I tried slipping out a silent fart because my stomach began to ache from the huge McDonald's breakfast I ate. About 10 minutes passed and I felt something in my boxers touching my inner leg as my brain completely omitted the fart from earlier. I instinctively think I sat in something, so I slide my hand in my boxers, only concerned with being discreet. My next idiotic, instinctive move after removing my hand was to sniff it. Well, it was immediately known that I now had crap on my fingers and just inhaled its smell directly. This caused me to instantly gag, and that too wasn't just gas. I projectile vomit my pancake breakfast up and it slathered my boss's neck, running down the inside of his collared shirt. I instantly ran out of the room to the bathroom to wash my hands and clean myself up. I returned to the office and apologized endlessly and blamed it on my McDonald's breakfast and lied saying that it must have been undercooked sausage. I got the day off and he actually wished me well, unknowing if the fact I actually threw up on him because of my vile self sniffed my own crap. Oh, sorry boss. Today I effed up by using the measuring tool app on my wiener. I'm a fairly new owner of the iPhone. This happened about 45 minutes ago. I'm in the bathtub, straight man, takes baths. I usually read on my device while laying in the water, but with the new iPhone, I decided to start organizing my apps. As I begin to move apps, I'm also trying out some of the new ones I've never seen. Reminders, compass, voice memos, the bullcrap extra stuff you can't delete. I run across the measuring tool and start testing it out. How far am I from the door? How tall is the room? Then I decided to use it on my floating wiener log. As I'm doing this, of frickin' course, my wife walks into the bathroom. She never knocks and I don't expect her to. I freak out as I have the camera pointed at my wiener. And the live view on the screen is on, so she knows it's photo mode. She leaves, I text her and I tell her it wasn't what you think. She laughs and tells me to send her the pictures. I send her a screenshot of the app including the wiener length, so she'll never forget what 11 inches looks like. Okay, that part was a joke, but she was a good sport about it. That's hilarious. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, smash that like button as it would really help me out. Subscribe to my channel so you can stay up to date with my latest videos, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.